Hi, this is Tarshinetmini. Today I will discuss my experience of listening to Sheila Humphreys, who describes her stolen generation's childhood memories. The story that I listened to was my stolen childhood and a life to rebuild. Sheila Humphreys. In this video, I will reflect on how I listened, what I learned from the experience, how it changed my assumptions, and how it will influence my practice as an early childhood educator. Before I listened to her personal story, I had watched some videos about stolen generations. But when I listened to her story, I realized that knowing historical fact is very different from listening to someone's life experience. It's an active relationship between the storyteller and listener, as mentioned in the article, which is story listening, going deeper into what, who, and why. By listening to her story, I can understand who she is rather than what happened in her history. Rather than just listen to her story, I could understand how her historical life experiences shape her identity. Actually, when I listened to the story, I was aware of the different levels of listening we discussed in the session 4. Actually, initially I noticed I was listening to understand what the basic idea of the story was. Actually, I tried to pick what I already knew and I tried to confirm it. This was the first stage in a chatter. After that, I tried to grab new information with an open mind and I changed my opinions and views according to the new facts. As a third stage, I connected with her emotions beyond my perspectives and I viewed her story from her side. That represents the empathetic level. In the final stage, generative listening, I emotionally understood the meaning of her words to deep listening. In this stage, I try to practice dadri, which is deep and respectful listening. It encourages me to calm down, be present, and listening with patience, which highlights the pedagogy of listening. I realized that when I listen to the story, this method not only helps me to understand someone's word, but also helps me to open to their feelings, experience, and meanings. Actually, a challenge I experienced was that I came to an opinion by listening to the middle of her story. However, I understood that meaningful listening requires calm down and allowing the storyteller to present her full perspectives, and then I need to make decision according to this. It provides me with a good lesson in teaching practice, which is that when children present their stories, I should not immediately interpret to confirm with what I already know. Instead, I should them complete their story and stay calm down, patient, and do self-reflection. And then I need to talk one of the impactful moment of this video. That was the situation she explained about her sister's arm getting stuck in the laundry machine, as they had to work in a laundry and no one came to treat her even though her arm was burning dangerously. Actually, this moment affected me because I felt that burning pain. I felt very sad and angry about this situation. However, I realized I should not make quick decisions or act based on my emotions in this situation. The way I listened influenced my practice of inclusion and privilege also. When I work in the setting, I need to recognize each child's background to create an inclusive environment for every child. I need to recognize that some families may have experiences of discrimination, exclusion, or loss that influence their sense of identity and belonging. This story listening practice will help me to understand and recognize the stories behind them. According to this, I can make my curriculum an inclusive learning environment. In my future teaching practice, I would use story listening to make a strong relationship with families and children. I will listen respectfully to children's and families' voices, and I would make an inclusive curriculum and learning environment. Also, instead of teaching or educating about Aboriginal culture, I would allow Aboriginal families and children to share their stories and build respectful relationship with others. Overall, this story taught me that deep listening is an essential professional practice rather than a simple communication skill. Thank you.